Okay, everyone, today should be a fun video. A while ago now, I saw a video of a particular guitar player trying to play this intro. And he's one of my favorite guitar players, and he was struggling with it. And I thought, you know what? This is now a mission for me to try to figure out this intro, because if it's hard for him, it's got to be crazy. So I started studying the intro to Mean Street. And it got to the point where I got really frustrated, and no matter what I did, like with traditional practice, I couldn't get it down. Then I realized I had to go back to my old ways, which I call guerrilla practice tactics. It's a mouthful. But when you start to change up how you practice, sometimes you have to do some unorthodox techniques and practice techniques in order to achieve the ability to do something, especially a crazy technique like this. Eddie Van Halen has got this inner pulse, like a drummer's pulse when he plays. And I realized that a lot of things I had to do to learn drums, I had to do in a weird way as well. So whether it was playing on pillows to increase my speed with my hands, or whether it was just playing in my car on my steering wheel. And so I resorted to a few of those tactics for this intro. So I'm only going to be doing the percussive intro today. You know, I'm going to do this part on the website pretty soon. So when I first tried to start learning this intro part, I started to realize that it's a combination of guitar, slap bass, and drumming. And I started to try to learn it more as a guitar player first, and that was my mistake. So I looked at the tab and it said you had to tap on the first two strings at the 12th fret with one finger, and then you're going to do this thumping on the 6th string. So I did a lot of back and forth playing with it. It sounded something like this at first. I felt so uncoordinated, it was crazy. So I realized that I wasn't getting anywhere because I was focusing too much on making those two parts sound perfect. Because of the guitar player in me, I thought those taps had to be just pristine at first, and I missed the big picture. When I finally realized that I had to take the guerrilla tactics practice path, I started to realize that it's more about getting the hands to play this thing like a drum. So here's how I did it. I turned the volume up a little bit, and I stopped caring about making these sound so good. I just thought about hitting the guitar neck. You kind of have to be rough on the guitar at first. And I have another suggestion if you don't want to do that. So I started just to hit the strings percussively. See how sloppy it sounds? But you could hear a better pulse in the background. You could hear the hits becoming a little bit more consistent. And so if you notice, I'm just slapping it with my hand like this, like I would slap a conga or something. So, and my thumb, just like back and forth. And then you use your fretting hand to do the opposite side of the percussion. So it's sort of this back and forth thing. You just feel like you're beating the crap out of your guitar. Now, this is kind of funny because I learned a lot of this technique from Joe Satriani's Midnight. So when I was learning that, I did the same practice technique where I just played it like a drum. I should have known better. As I practiced, I realized I was beating the crap out of my strings, and I didn't want to do that for hours and hours and hours. So what I did was actually turn my guitar over and I played the back of the neck, because really you're getting the same feeling of going back and forth with the right hand like that and hitting with your fretting hand like this. You might not be able to hear it. I'll turn it up a little bit. What that does is it really helps you get your thumb down, because you're slapping against it like that and you're not trying to balance it on the very edge of the neck yet. You have this nice round surface, so you can just be like... And this is where I started to use my index finger instead of my whole hand, because I knew I was eventually going to have to do that. So one step at a time here. Felt like a slap bass player a little bit too. And any slap bass player will tell you it's a lot like drumming as well. You're just drumming with your hands when you do a lot of slap bass, a lot of thumping, you know? The next guerrilla technique I used was really strange, because I had forgotten that I brought my home guitar, I call it my couch guitar, out to be set up. So I didn't have a guitar at home. All my guitars are here at my studio. So I was still desperate to practice. So what I did was I looked over and I had a baseball bat in the corner. Don't ask why, I just have a bat in the corner of my living room at all times. Anyway, I thought, well, it's the same kind of thing as the back of the guitar neck. So there was a couple nights where I sat there, watched Ozark, and just went like this. You won't be able to hear it right now, but... You got to start to get that to sound good now, and that takes a while because you got to get the callus happening right here so it's even. And this is really frustrating, but the string might slip off the edge. So my recommendation is to take your fretting hand and to mute and hold that string in place. It's kind of like acting as a second nut here. So this is going to be what the fretting hand does. Percussion over here, just be around the first fret. And the picking hand, the normally picking hand, the tapping hand now, is going to be going like this for one of the hits. And then the thumb is going to create this harmonic thump. It's kind of strange. It's like a hybrid of a sound. So it hits the neck, hits the string at the 12th fret, creating sort of a harmonic, a 12th fret harmonic. Now, if you start to use a metronome, I recommend it like right away so that you get real even right off the bat. So I'll put a diagram on the screen with a pattern, and you're going to see it's really kind of tricky towards the end because you have to do a tap, 2 thumps, and another tap to start off the next round. So that could be a little bit hard to time correctly. Another thing to keep in mind is that Eddie Van Halen actually tunes down half a step for this song, but I had just gotten this guitar set up, so I'm going to leave it where it is right now, but it's really just about the technique, so it doesn't really matter too much. Another trick to improve on that, to really feel it and to make it automatic, is to play along to just random songs with a decent beat. And so I chose Michael Jackson's Got to Be Startin' Something, and for some reason it really locked it in for me. So do that in conjunction with your metronome practicing. So let's just keep speeding up the metronome till we get to around 280, and then that'll be where we'll leave it for now. I was getting there, but I still felt like there was a little bit of looseness to it. You know what I mean? When I got to the faster speeds, I just felt like I was holding on by the seat of my pants. So I went back to flipping the guitar over and playing it more percussively. And really, if you ignore all the high, you know, the tapping sounds, and you just focus on the and keeping that going, you become, like I said, more of a drummer while you're doing this. And then the guitar stuff can be like the frosting on the cake at the end. Okay, let's try back to 280 here. It's not like he does it for 5 minutes, so you really don't have to train yourself for stamina, but I think being able to do it for like a minute is a really good goal. All right, I hope this video helps people who have been struggling with Mean Street get there, you know, get a little bit closer and hopefully eventually getting it down. It takes a while to get it to where you feel like you're really confident with it, but it's worth the struggle. Okay, everyone, let me know how it goes in the comment section, and we'll catch you later. Bye-bye.